Hello, Honors Algebra. Mr. Lawrence here with your flipped lesson. We've got a test tomorrow, of course, and I'm going to start with the answer key from the review assignment. And I want to point out, I said it's in class, but maybe you didn't hear it. I put extra problems on this answer key. I think it was numbers 34 through 37, and I ignored the directions in the book because the book didn't give you enough graphing problems to practice if you need help with it. And so I just did 34 through 37 as if the directions said graph the inequalities, just like 38 and 39 do. Okay. Remember, on the inequalities, you might have a broken parabola, you might have a solid, and you're definitely going to have shading. You have to use your test point. Other than that, in every way, they're the same as doing a regular parabola. All right, so you've probably had enough time to see those. And there's the next set. Again, if you need to pause it, go right ahead. Okay, there's 34. See, I indicated, oh, you can't see my vertex. There it is. -1.5, -20.25. And there's the zeros, and I did the shading, and I made sure you knew it was a broken line. I wasn't sure, broken parabola. I wasn't sure how it would look on the answer key. All right, there's 35, okay, 36, 37, okay, 38, and there's 39. And I believe that's the end of the assignment. Now remember, the book isn't really good in terms of selection of problem stuff. We've done harder things that I've created for you. So you want to look over your story problems, falling particle problems. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing them again, but there's two types you need to worry about, right? The first type is when an object is shot or dropped, and they want to know time. Okay? They want to know time. In that case, if they're asking at what time will it hit the ground, you're going to have to set up your equation. Remember, h equals -16 t squared plus or minus v sub o t plus s. Your ending height will be 0. And you can fill everything else in. Remember, v is positive if the object is being shot up or thrown up. If v is being dropped, then if the object is being dropped, v is 0, and so the t term, or the v sub o t term, disappears from the equation. And if it's being thrown down, then v will be negative, right? Okay, now the s is the starting height, so if you're starting at the ground, well, then s is 0. If you're starting on a sixth floor window, you need to know how high that sixth floor window is, probably 70 feet. But make sure you read carefully and fill that in. Now the ending height doesn't have to be 0. If they ask a question like, say, at what time will it reach a height of 32 feet? Well, you pretend that that is your ending height. Okay, h is the ending height. All right, and plug it in. Now remember, to solve the quadratic formula, you have to make it equal to 0. So if you have a number other than 0 in h's place, you'll have to subtract that off and then go ahead and do the quadratic formula. Okay, the other type is like the football problem, when a ball is kicked or thrown up and you want to know if it can go to a certain height. Okay? Now, I'm not going to work through these problems. You've got sample problems like this. But I'm going to draw a picture here, and I'll use the football one. We talked about it in the class, right? Okay. And you see my skills do not compare to Brandon McLean's. He did a really nice job drawing thing. Now, you want the ball to go through the goalpost, right? Okay. It might take that path, or it possibly could take a path like this, where it's not actually going to go through the goalpost. You want to see if it can go high enough. Now, are you going to use the quadratic formula on a problem like this? Well, if you think about what these 2 points are of the parabola, what are they? And I'll do these in blue. Okay. And this one is both green and blue because it goes with both parabolas. Those points are the zeros or the roots, right? Do the zeros tell us how high something goes? No. The zeros tell us at what time this thing's on the ground, right? And if we want to know if it can go high enough, this doesn't help us at all. So we won't use the quadratic formula on this. We want to know how high something goes. What are we looking for? We're looking for the vertex, right? The vertex. So in a problem like that, you're going to do t equals negative b over 2a. Only that part of the quadratic formula, that'll give you value for t, and then you're going to plug that in to this equation. This might be 0, negative 16, t squared. Your initial velocity, I think in the football problem was 35 t. The starting height is 0. See, I'm not going to plug 11 in there. This is problem 9 from the homework. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to get negative 35 over negative 32, which is the same as 35 over 32. Now, if they ask me at what time it reaches the max height, well, then I've got to turn that into seconds, divide, and all that. But if they're just asking, will it go high enough, I can just take this fraction and plug it in for t. Negative 16, 35 over 32 squared plus 35 over 32. And I can just crunch that on my calculator. And this will tell me the max height. It'll tell me the y-coordinate of the vertex, or in this case, the height coordinate of the vertex, the h-coordinate. And then if that is higher than 11, then I know it'll go through. If it's less than 11, I know it won't. I'm not worried about the distance. I'm not worried about wind drag or anything like that. We're just in a very vanilla type of problem where there aren't a lot of factors. All right. I would strongly recommend that if you need to, go back and watch some of the previous videos, okay? This test should not be any big deal. All right, I'm so proud of you guys. You've been working hard right up until the end. Friday, you get to take a little break. There will be a video posted over break. I suggest that you watch it. It won't be posted right away, but I suggest that you watch it before we come back Monday, because it's going to lead into, Tuesday, the Tuesday after Easter. That's when we come back. It will lead into that lesson. I'll expect you to be up on that, so make sure you watch it. That's the only video you have to watch. One video right before we come back, okay? And I'll post it midway through break. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.